So this question comes from @PenguinStar6408, and they ask, "Hey Eric, how did Alexander Zass train to endure a truck driving across him?" Which was also followed up with another person named @Ian's YouTube Hodgepodge 8942, where they asked a similar question, and they said, "This is the question I wanted to ask. That was sick. Yeah, how in the heck do you harden the body's tissues to that degree? I was blown away watching that, to be honest. I don't think any of today's powerlifters or current strongmen, world's strongest men, could endure that kind of pressure." I don't exactly know for sure, but I'm going to give my thoughts in this video. Now, first, I've never done this particular feat, and I wouldn't recommend you guys attempt this one because, as you can probably guess, there is a significant amount of danger. It's actually one of the reasons I would never attempt it. Is I'm a family man now, and I valued my life before. I value it even more now. Now, as far as how to train to endure it, well, what I would, if it were me to attempt to do this, and I'm not going to, remember, take what I say as entertainment and not as specific instruction on how to do it. Entertainment purposes only. That's my disclaimer. So, what I would probably do if it were me to attempt to do this feat is I would watch and I would analyze every possible aspect of how this feat is performed when it's done on its own, right? You have your end goal, and then I would reverse engineer the steps. So probably the steps that I would take is I would start with something lighter. Have that go across me and see how that feels, right? And then you would work your way up incrementally accordingly, or that's how I would attempt to do that. Now, something like a car or a truck, well, back then, I don't know what they weighed. It might have been more doable. The cars today might be heavier. I really don't know. Now, there is another circus strongman that does this, and I can't remember his name. But if you type in circus strongman in YouTube, I think he's probably the one that's most likely to come up. If I remember correctly, he works in like the Ukrainian circus or something, and this was like 10 years ago when I was like kind of like observing other strength performers and seeing how they would do a show. I was even offered a job at the circus way early in my career, and I opted not to do it because I have a cat at home. And from what I understand, the circus doesn't even pay that well anyways. So he has done it, and he does it with a modern car. And you could probably get an idea of how he pulls it off and then work your way up accordingly. Now, for that other question that talked about hardening body tissues to such a degree that a car can roll over you, well, if you're looking at hardening your body tissues and being able to like be tougher, which I think is actually the end goal, I doubt that, well, I could be wrong, but maybe you're trying to become a modern day performing strongman and you want to include that in your act. But more than likely, you probably just want to look for ways to toughen yourself up. In which case, what I would do is I would have a look at the iron shirt techniques that come from, what is that, Qigong or something? Where you're basically hitting yourself with various things to see how they do it. I know some of my clients are involved in some of the Chinese martial arts, and they may be able to direct me in stuff like that. But there's probably enough instruction material, maybe even here on YouTube, but I know dragondoor.com had put out some various things about it, although I didn't end up picking up any of that material. But I know it doesn't exactly answer your question because I don't really have an exact specific answer. It was just the way I would do it if I were to go down that route. But if you like the content, please let me know by hitting that like button. If you want to see more of this sort of thing, subscribe to the channel. Also, you get You can catch some of the chronicles of my various performances across the country when you subscribe to the channel. And also, if you think anybody should see this, please share it with them. This YouTube thing isn't rocket science. And also, if you want to support the channel, do all the things that I just mentioned. That sort of thing helps grow my channel via the algorithm. And you could also pick up a copy of my book or some coffee from Good For You Coffee Club. Links are in the description below. And if you decide to get it from Good For You Coffee Club, use the promo code MyPower10 to save 10%. But that's it for today. In the meantime, please stay tuned for the next video. And in the meantime, please stay happy, healthy, and strong. Eric Moss, over and out.